Welcome to Fashionably Broke.
I'm kidding, don't use that.
Just wear whatever the hell you
Like,
want.
literally just...
We're living on a McDonald's budget.
Just because you're broke doesn't mean you have to dress like it.
Dearest gentle listener, welcome back to another episode of Fashionably Broke Podcast with your host, Madeline Schweppe. Oh my God, could you imagine? What if I was British? That would be insane. That actually was not a really good representation of my British accent. So we'll try that again later on in the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Fashionably Broke Podcast with your host, me, Maddy Schweppe. We are back again with another solo episode. I really do hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with Logan Hood. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I have another guest coming on next week, March 11th. Make sure you tune in. It is so freaking good. We cover some of the best topics. Dating, dating in Nashville, and we seriously drop a lot of tea. So keep that in your head. Next week, March 11th, another happy hour with friends on Fashionably Broke Podcast. Okay, guys. Wow, welcome back. It feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you guys one-on-one, but I'm not gonna lie, we are fully freeballing today's episode because, well, last week, I'm not gonna lie, I had a pretty rough week. And I'm gonna get into it a little bit. Not fully because there's just a lot going on in my personal life. And it's something that you guys will probably learn about soon. But not right away. I hate to be that person because I know that's so annoying, but I'm going to be that person right now because I can't really divulge much or like fully get into it. But I had a pretty rough week. It was one of those weeks where it really did make me realize like how much of an adult I am. And I feel like this situation is kind of one of the first situations where, you know, I really sat back and just kind of realized that like, holy shit, like these decisions that I'm making and people in my life are making that I live with are like truly going to affect the rest of our lives. And just that like these decisions carry a lot of weight and just kind of like the trajectory and just like where pretty much I end up in life. And it's all like good things. It's just something that honestly I never prepared myself for, which of course that is life. And I really just kind of had to take an entire week. Like it truly did take an entire week for me to kind of sit in my thoughts and like process everything that was like happening and basically just like how my life was changing in a way that I never thought it would. And I know that's like so broad, so vague. Everyone's okay. I'm okay. It's literally, I was just going through like, I feel like a pretty major step in adulthood that a lot of people deal with. And I took it really hard, if that makes sense. Like it was not necessarily 100% something that I wanted to face and deal with. And I feel like I kind of like pushed it all kind of like back a little bit, but at the same time, like really shut off to the world around me. So like I took a break. Like I wasn't really on social media. I was really just kind of like sitting in my thoughts and my feelings. I cried a lot. Like I truly don't think I've cried that much. I don't know ever or just like in a really long time, which like college me, zero emotion. Adult me, like post-college, a lot more emotion. And I think that this past week was like one of the most emotional weeks of my life. And it was one where I feel like I actually learned a lot about myself. And honestly, let's get into it because, you know, I said that we were going to talk deeper on the podcast. So we're going to talk pretty deep today. But then I promise we're gonna talk about happier things. Okay, I'm not gonna focus too much on like this topic, but I really do feel like I learned a lot about myself and honestly how much I've grown as a person. I feel like in the past I used to honestly And I hope someone else understands this and it's kind of not just like a singular thing or people can't really relate to what I'm about to say. But I feel like I used to honestly turn to my friends a lot more in situations where I needed support, comfort, advice, rather than people in my family. And I just kind of feel like that's how I process things. Obviously, there are things that I have gone through in my life to kind of make me pivot to like focusing and almost like divulging things and relying on my friends rather than family, which isn't a healthy thing to do. I think that if you rely really heavily on your friends, which of course you should always rely on your friends, and you should surround yourself with people that you think that you can rely on and that can support you. But I think that I would take it to a point where I relied on them so much and expected it back, if that makes sense, or expected them to help me out the way a family member would help me out when they're not. That's not their job. That's not their responsibility. Yes, my friends have always been there, and this really has nothing to do with my friends, but just how I almost like treated friendships, which honestly I don't think was really healthy. I really just would lean on them so much and expect a level of comfort and support and advice from them that of course you're not always going to get, because it's not their job. They're not there to support me emotionally. Like, they're not there to literally be my crutch to lean on every single time. When I heard this news that kind of fucked up my entire week, like, honestly, I kind of was like, who do I turn to? Because I feel like this isn't something that I can put onto my friends, because like it's just not fair. It's not fair to them. That's the whole thing. What I was doing was not fair to the other person. And I think it took me a full-on week to kind of like process this, because I was trying to do it by myself, which I very early on in the week realized, holy shit, I don't think I can process this by myself. Like, I was holding it in and I was getting just like more and more and more upset. And I couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't even think about it without just like literally bursting into tears uncontrollably, which, like, I'm sorry, I work a full-time job. Like, I have to function in life and I can't let my emotions like get the better of me. So I kind of, had to sit myself down and be like, okay, you're gonna have to talk this through with someone, and you just need to like man up and talk it through with someone. And so, I was still just kind of like being hard-headed and trying to process it by myself until Friday rolled around, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do it by myself anymore. I have to reach out to my family. And of course, what do you know? They made me feel 5,000 times better. But it was just me like truly trying to do it on my own, trying not to rely and put my burden, my hardships, my issues on other people. But I kind of had to realize, okay, number one, it's okay to put those, it's okay. Like, if you are in a place where you truly can't figure it out on your own, can't process it on your own, it is okay to turn to someone for help. It's okay to go to your family for help and to talk things through and to get their advice. And not that I didn't want their advice. It was just one of those things in my head. I was like scared to turn to them, which that's some things that I probably need to figure out in therapy. But I really don't know if anyone else can relate to that. I don't know, sometimes like there are certain things, like I am a loudmouth. I literally cannot move in silence. I have to tell people like literally what's going on. Like, I just have to yap. I really was like in such a place where like I didn't even want to talk about it. I would reach out to someone for help and just kind of give them the gist and be like, I want to talk it through. And then when the time came for me to like actually talk it through, I was like dreading it, did not want to speak. I was just like, I'm so emotionally exhausted from fighting in my head, if that makes sense, or just like going over it over and over and over again in my head that I was like, I don't want to talk to anyone else about it. But then when I would talk to someone about it, I felt 10,000 times better. And like, I don't know, I just feel like it made me realize a lot about myself, about my tendencies, about how sometimes, you know, I would rather turn to a friend than a family member to talk things through, or how I would just like rather not talk about it at all. But at the end of the day, it did help me a lot. I don't know if any of that made any sense, but if you're going through something, you're not alone. Find someone that you trust and want to talk to, because I'm telling you, it will make you feel 10 times better, a lot better. Do I need to go to therapy? Yeah, absolutely. Have I done so? Absolutely not. Will I do so in the future? I probably should. Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, talk to someone. If you need to talk to someone, it will make you feel a lot better than just holding it in and having like this just like internal literal battle inside, because it will drive you insane. It will make you more mentally tired and emotional than actually talking to someone. And yeah, but I just want to say that during this week of just kind of self-reflection and, you know, going through it, I consumed a lot of television and movies. Yeah, television and movies. And all I have to say is almost everything that I've watched over the last, not even just this week, over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks even, they all had to do with like either the UK, like basically everyone had some sort of accent, whether it was from the UK, whether it was from Australia or like Ireland. And for the past month, my internal dialogue has literally been in a British accent. And like, I'm being dead serious. Every thought that I have thought for the last month, I am literally thinking to myself in a British accent. But like, I'm kind of here for it. Like, honestly, for my internal monologue to be in a British accent is kind of awesome. It really feels like it's not me, like, thinking. It almost feels like a third person, but like, I sound great in my head. And sometimes I catch myself over the last week or so, last 2 weeks, I've literally been saying words like with an accent in real life, like not just in my head. Like, I've like verbally said them out loud, and I'm like, I cannot do that. It's embarrassing, but it truly has just been happening, and I honestly can't help it at all. But I'm going to do a little rundown. Okay, so Bridgerton. Wow. Season 4 Bridgerton. Holy shit. I said it on TikTok and I'll say it here. I think that this was the best season of Bridgerton so far. I know everyone was up in arms by the time the 4th episode ended, and spoiler alert, Benedict asked Sophie to be his mistress. Okay, everyone was freaking out. Everyone was pissed off. But like, guys, it was only the 4th episode. That's not how the rest of the season's going to go. Like, that is setting up for the perfect last 4 episodes to drop. I don't know why everyone was so freaked out, was so pissed off, was so mad about it, because like, I'm sorry, that was literally setting up for the perfect season ever, because it pissed you off, made you want to watch the rest. And like, holy shit, it was so good. Obviously, I think every season of Bridgerton has been amazing. Like, I don't have any complaints. I've also watched Queen Charlotte, have 0 complaints there. But this truly was the greatest season. Just the Yearning. I feel like Yearning has been such a hot topic recently. And I feel like the reason why it's such a hot topic in media nowadays is because we don't yearn anymore. Like, we truly don't yearn anymore. Everything is at our fingertips. Everything is right now. There's always satisfaction with dating apps. You swipe until you go on a date. Like, you're satisfied. You don't have to wait. for anything anymore. And I think that Bridgerton, I think that Wuthering Heights, I think that Heated Rivalry, which I know y'all are probably sick and tired of me talking about, but like all of those shows and movies have to do with yearning and waiting. And it builds up this intensity, it builds up this passion, it builds up this feeling where you're like, oh my God, like it just makes it 10 times more intense. And I think that's something that we all need to reflect on, is that waiting is okay for anything. I'm not just talking love. I'm not just talking about being passionate with someone else. Like I'm talking about for anything. Like I feel like we just are so in the now, give it to me right now. I don't want to wait. And then like we get the thing, no matter what it is. And then we're like, okay, well, cool, I got it. All right, on to the next thing. I think that we need to bring back that yearning feeling, whether it's for something that you want, for obviously a person. Like, I think that we need to like restrain ourselves a little bit and like let it like muster, you know, like let it fester. That's such a gross word to say, but like honestly, it's the perfect word. Like let it fester, like let it sit. Let marinate in it, marinate in that feeling, because it's gonna be 10 times better at the outcome than just getting it immediately. And I'm talking about like literally anything, whether it's something that you've just been eyeing online that isn't gonna go out of stock anytime soon, or just like a big purchase, like dating someone. Like I feel like we need to bring back those feelings and of like not instant gratification. I feel like it's ruined a lot for us, especially dating. I'm really not going to lie. And so I feel like it was one of those things, obviously like Bridgerton, they now do their episode drops in 4 episodes, and then you have to wait a month, and then the next 4 episodes. And I feel like those first 4 episodes really helped to build that emotional intensity between the 2 characters. And then those last 4 episodes, like it really dragged on. Like you know that they have an emotional connection, but like they just weren't getting there until pretty much like the very last episode. Which, another thing, if you have watched Bridgerton season 4 all the way through, make sure you stay past the first minute of the credits, because there is an extra scene that is very important to how the season ends. And I'm sorry, there should have been a disclaimer. There should have been a statement put out by Bridgerton, the series, because I missed it. I fully missed it until I saw a TikTok and then had to literally go back, pull up the last episode, scroll to the credits, and then let them play, because I missed the very last hidden scene. And it is well worth going back and watching it if you missed it as well. So please note, there is an extra scene after the credits that you have to watch. But I'm also just like really excited for the next few seasons of Bridgerton. I mean, I feel like it's slowly coming to a close. Oh my God. Another thing we have to talk about in season 4, Francesca and John. Francesca, the actress that plays her character, wow. If she could win an Oscar, an Emmy, anything for her performance, she deserves all of the awards. Because holy shit, her storyline this season was just so emotionally heartbreaking, and she conveyed it so well. So well. I know her character is just she's a lot quieter, she's a lot more reserved, put together, and like the performance that she displayed and just like how she conveyed the emotions and just literally like the stages of grief and grieving in a different way. It was amazing. Like I literally am speechless at how well she did this season. It was insane. She deserves every single freaking award ever. But I'm really excited for the next few seasons of Bridgerton. My only complaint is, obviously I didn't read the books, but my only complaint is I know that the books are written where pretty much there's a book about a specific sibling, and you really don't ever see the other siblings once they get married off really reoccur, other than Anthony and Kate, because he is the whatever. He's like the main, he's head honcho. Okay. He's head bitch in charge. But like, it kind of pisses me off. Like, I miss Daphne. I miss Colin and Penelope. They're still in the story because, like, obviously Penelope was whistled down, except she quit. And I have hunches maybe on who is the new whistle down. But I'm not really sure. I don't know if I should say them or not. I think it's Hyacinth. Sorry, I said it. I think it is, because her reaction to Penelope quitting being whistled down was, she was like, who's going to report on my season when I like am out in society? And I think that she's whistled down because she wants someone to write about her season. But anywho, that's besides the point. Like, I do wish Kate and Anthony were in it more. I wish, like I already said, Daphne, and you can write off her husband's character. I don't really care. But like, I wish she was more present. And then obviously Francesca played a really big part in season 4, even though she was married off in season 3. Obviously her husband died. Spoiler. So I'm really hoping that she actually stays pretty consistent through the next few seasons, and like she's there and she's present. I also really loved the storyline with the mother. I forget her name. Sorry, guys. But I liked how she was really toying with, you know, starting a new relationship, and just like her thoughts with the kids. Like, how would the kids accept it, and how would what would the kids think about it? And just like, she's already had her great love. Is she really ready to open herself up again to love? And how she really struggled with the idea of, do I want to be in a relationship, or do I want to focus on myself and finding who I am, and like figuring out who I am and what I want in life, and like almost bringing back her youthful spark that she had before she got married and before she had all of her 8 kids or however many kids she had. And I really liked that storyline because I feel like it's really realistic. It's obviously, I've never been a mother. I've never had a husband die. I've never been divorced. But like, I think that is something that a lot of people that have been through those life experiences can absolutely relate to, of like, okay, am I ready to love again? Like, whether it be from death or whether it be from divorce, like, I loved and I've lost. Am I ready to open myself back up again? Like, do I think I can do it and find out who I am outside of kids, outside of marriage, all at the same time? I thought that was a beautiful storyline, but I'm really intrigued to see how they carry it throughout the rest of the seasons, because I think that it should stay a very strong storyline throughout the rest of the kids' seasons. So very excited, very intrigued. Urine, what's her name? Urine, the main character, she did a beautiful job playing Sophie. And I just like, I just really loved their storyline and just kind of like the emotional tug of war that was displayed throughout the season. And yes, like that very fairy tale-esque. It was like a very much a Cinderella story. But I really did enjoy just the conversations between the class and like what people are willing to give up for love. I thought that was just like, I thought there were a lot of really good undertones in the story, in the messaging. Oh my God, another thing that I just recently watched, Wuthering Heights. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. Wow. Number one, obviously I never read the book. I only know like about the story of Wuthering Heights based off of what is on the internet. And I know that in next week's episode, my special guest and I will kind of like touch on the show or on the movie a little bit, but I hadn't seen it yet. So it is from her perspective, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought I really enjoyed how it was an adaptation of the director's idea and just like how she took the story and how she pictured it in her brain, or how she would have changed it, and basically just like what she remembered from reading it. Like it was basically she took the story, but this was her version, Taylor's version, if you will. But other than that, besides the point, because we get into it in next week's episode, it was so visually stunning and captivating, and it really just does like tear and play at your heartstrings. Like it is such a story about yearning. It is such a story about miscommunication and how important it is to communicate and to talk about your feelings. I just thought it was just so beautiful. And I'm so sorry, Jacob Elordi's so hot. Like it's literally not even funny. It could be the worst movie ever, but like he makes it a 10 out of 10. But like it really is such a tragic story. It's so heartbreaking. And like honestly, I know I talk about books every single time I record an episode, but like I really just need to start to get into reading. But again, I loved the adaptation of Wuthering Heights. I'm not an English major. I've never read the book. So like, yeah, take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I'm sorry. It was fucking good. Okay? 10/10 would watch again and bawl my eyes out again. What else have I watched recently? Okay, one thing that is on my list that every single person is talking about is Love Story, which is about JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette and like their love story, and obviously the Kennedy curse, which is something that I actually want to research a little bit further. Like I want to dive into the Kennedys and just like their stories, which like I feel like I know the basic gist, blah blah blah. But honestly, I kind of love a little like historic love story moment, or just like historic stories. That doesn't make sense. I really want to watch the show Love Story. I know episodes are still being released, so I do need to catch up, because I know that this is kind of like the take on what The Crown was. So obviously The Crown is about the royal family and just with Princess Diana and just kind of like the whole story leading up to Princess Diana's death. And I think that this is kind of like the same take on the Kennedys, and but specifically like the younger generation, JFK Jr., and like his tragic love story. And I really loved The Crown, so I know I'm really gonna love Love Story. So I'm super freaking pumped to watch that. I'm going to have a little wine break. It is so funny. So Morgan was out of town, and it is so true. Like whenever he's not home, the dinners that I have are absolutely diabolical. Like girl dinner for freaking sure. Because I'm sorry, a piece of cheese and some pickles and ranch, like that just sounds like the best dinner to me ever. And I'm not going to lie, I might have eaten that 2 days in a row. And I probably will have the same thing for the third day in a row. Just because, like, I'm sorry, I just want a snack. I just want a little taste of everything to feel satisfied. Like, I'm not going to cook myself a full dinner. Give me a bag of popcorn, a pickle, and some cheese, and like, I'm sorry, that sounds amazing. Okay, but we are back to TV. Okay, another thing that I am finally caught up on is Summer House. I know by the time, again, this episode comes out, there'll be one more. I think the 5th episode will be released this week, so we will cover it in a few weeks from now. But one thing I want to talk about other than Kyle and Amanda, because girl, they hate each other. Like that's all I can say is they absolutely hate each other's guts. And honestly, I'm so proud of my girl. I've been loving everything that Amanda has been posting on social media since their separation / divorce has been announced, and obviously post this season. I feel like my girl is doing her thing. She's living her life. She has never been hotter. And I love that for her. Like, I feel like she is just gonna do some amazing things, and I can't wait to see how she kind of evolves and finds herself again post Kyle. But I want to talk about West and Jesse Solomon. Okay, so one thing that honestly for me is kind of hard to wrap my head around when it comes to reality TV is obviously I know that doing the show is their job. But sometimes when it comes to like a show like Summer House, it is really hard to kind of picture them not being the best of friends, which I know that they're all friends, they're all acquaintances, but like, I'm sorry, let's be real. We all know they're not hanging out with each other every single day, filming, not filming. They're not. I'm sorry, they're not. You don't ever see anyone post with each other pretty much like outside of filming. It's their job. They're not going to be with their it's like a regular old Joe Schmo. They're not going to be with their coworker every single freaking day. They film together. They're coworkers. They have friends outside of filming. But again, who knows? I might be eating my words because there's a new episode dropping for me tomorrow. For y'all, it dropped yesterday. But West and Jesse, like, I just feel like the way Jesse is acting towards Sierra, number one, like, I just feel like West and Jesse really aren't like the bestest of friends. Like, you never see them hanging out together. And so I think it's crazy that West is really freaking out about this Sierra thing. They broke up. He didn't want to be serious. So if Jesse wants to make out with Sierra, let him make out with Sierra, which I know that Sierra might take it the wrong way and there's probably drama that is going to happen. But like, I don't know. For me as a girl, I wouldn't really care. I know that Sierra is very much one for commitment. She wants something serious. She doesn't want just a fling. She doesn't want just a hookup. Like, she wants a serious relationship. And yeah, Jesse's intentions might not be the purest. Shocking. But I just find it so crazy. Like, West is trying to play it off like he doesn't give a shit that Jesse asked, but the other guys found it so weird. And so now he's like, yeah, I mean, if we weren't friends, like, I would think you're a freak. I would think you're weird. West, just say it with your chest. Like, say, no, I don't want you to make out with Sierra. Okay, say it. If you don't say it, Jesse's gonna do it. So, like, man up, grow some balls, and say, yeah, it would really bother me. Don't make out with Sierra. And that's all you have to say. I mean, coming from someone that doesn't like confrontation, I'm pretty sure like that, like, you saying that is clear as day. And I bet you Jesse would back off, but it would make for really bad TV. So I'm just very curious to see how the storyline plays out. But also I want West to just nut up, buck up, and be like, no, I want to be with Sierra. Okay, like, just get over it. But I think that West likes the attention, like, likes the possibility of like, okay, Sierra's being nice to him. Sierra's flirting with him. Like, I think on camera just like wants to have like a little flirty fling. And then like once cameras are gone, like, it's whatever. He doesn't really care. He has his own friends. He has his own life in New York. Like, he is good, whatever. Because I'm sorry, we all know whenever they go out, they have hundreds of girls surrounding them and they love the attention. So like, yeah, of course he doesn't want a girlfriend. But I'm very intrigued to see how this Summer House mess plays out because, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's very intriguing and I'm excited to like see that storyline of everything go down. I'm also really excited for Carl and Kyle's fight. I'm just like waiting for it to happen. Also with what is her name? Lindsay. I mean, I love Lindsay as a mom. I feel like she was a character I absolutely freaking hated, but I'm really starting to love her. I just like her energy. I just like her as a mom. I feel like she's become like such a better person. So I'm excited just to like watch her have fun this summer and see what happens and just have her live her life. Okay, last thing that I want to cover for this episode, I think, is the SAG Actor Awards. My girl, Paige DeSorbo. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Amazing. Holy shit. My God. I didn't watch them. My bad. Sorry, guys. But of course, I'm looking at the fashion and holy shit. Wow, she looked amazing. And I know she killed it. I know she killed it because my girl can literally do no wrong. But I was really loving all of the fashion on the carpet. I'm not going to lie, I really haven't dug into it too much, but wow. One person I really want to talk about is Michelle Randolph. So obviously she stars in Landman. She was in 1923, same director, just like two different shows. I loved the direction that she took with her outfit for the SAG Awards. Or is it SAG or Actor Awards? You know, I could probably look it up, but I'm not going to. So I'm just going to go SAG/Actor Awards. But obviously, she is a stunning, hot, beautiful, sexy actress. And I love the direction that she took with her outfit. I feel like it kind of says like serious actress and not like, oh yeah, because like obviously the character she plays on Landman is, I don't even want to call her ditzy because like she's really not, but she projects, like her character projects like she's like this ditzy cheerleader blonde girl that like really doesn't have much depth, but she does. And I feel like it kind of conveys into her as like a person. I feel like people have a hard time differentiating her character from who she is as a person. And she's played, I mean, these shows are huge. Like they're not some, you know, starting role. Like these are really, really big shows. And I feel like a lot of times people probably don't take her as serious as she wants to be taken. So I really loved the direction she chose when it came to her outfit because I feel like it really gave like, I am serious. Like I am taking my career and my job as an actress very seriously, and like don't mistake it. Like don't look at, like I'm not playing basically. Another person that I actually really was not the biggest fan of, which I'm kind of disappointed because I loved her Golden Globes outfit, was Emma Stone. I really just was not a fan of her purple getup. I don't know what it was. I just feel like something was off and it just wasn't as flattering as I wanted it to be. I feel like I feel like I was really excited to see what she would wear because like I said, I was obsessed with her Golden Globes outfit, but I don't know, her purple dress just did not do it for me. One person I mean, he can do no wrong. Connor Story in YSL. Oh my God. Obsessed with a goddamn diamond tennis necklace. Yes, please. He looked freaking amazing. And I mean, he is just like literally hot, hot, hot. I mean, doing SNL this past weekend, going to the SAG Awards. Like, this man is just on a roll. Like, he is just, I mean, he's killing it. It's insane. Okay, who else do we have? Let's see. Okay, what is her name? Sarah Pigeon? Is that how you say her last name? Pigeon? But she plays Carolyn Bessette in Love Story, and she was wearing Balenciaga, and I actually really liked the look. I do have to say okay, if you want to be really imaginative, her dress kind of looked like a penis, but I still really liked it. I really did like it. I thought it was very classic. Her hair was done stunningly. Her makeup, beautiful. Like, she really is just stunning and gorgeous. Okay, another actress was Odessa Zion. I don't know how to say her last name, but she was in Marty Supreme. I'm pretty sure that she was the love interest. Never saw it, but she was wearing a Giorgio Armani jumpsuit that was like fringe everywhere. I'm shocked. I loved this look. I think her makeup, her hair, and just like the jumpsuit, it all worked so freaking well together. I think she looked cool. She looked chic, but dressed up enough and still had enough fun with her look. I loved it. Another person I was absolutely obsessed with was Jenna Ortega in a slip from Christian Cohen. She looked stunning. I mean, she is really just gorgeous, but I love it was like this white lacy slip, and she looked freaking phenomenal. So that was one that I loved. Let's see who else. Yearning, who played Sophie in Bridgerton. Her look, I think, was my favorite of the night, and she was in she was wearing, I'm pretty sure, Balenciaga. She had on black tailored pants with this super sick textured white top. Her makeup, her hair, everything worked. I think she was my favorite look of the night. And then, okay, there was Dove Cameron. She was wearing Monique. I don't know how to say the other word. I feel like we've seen this look from her before, so I'm not that impressed. Oh, Kristen Bell looked stunning. I mean, I don't know what she was wearing, but wow, she looked amazing. Like, I am obsessed. Who else do we have? Kate Hudson. I really did love both of her looks. She looked absolutely stunning. I feel like very Kate Hudson, but it just really looked so flattering on her. I'm trying to think who else really, really stood out to me. There goes one of my lights. Okay, well, I could just blab on and on and on and on, but I think that it's time to wrap today's episode. Don't worry, guys. Next week's episode is truly one of my favorite things that I think I've ever recorded. And like I said earlier, we do have a very special guest on, so make sure to tune in on March 11th. But thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, follow me on social media at Fashionably Broke Podcast, and on all of my personals at Maddy Schweppe. And I'll talk to you guys next week. I love you so much. Bye.